Unbelievable. Holy smokes. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. I mean, football, honestly, I said this yesterday, like after Germany went out and the way those games went, like, these group stages have just gotten better and better. And this is exactly what I expected. I said it after the second round of group games finished, right after I think the likes of Switzerland, Serbia, that group played, because that's obviously the last group in the out of all the groups. And I said these third round of games in these group stages are going to be blockbuster. Yeah, they're going to be crazy, and it's been nothing short of that. It has not failed to disappoint. It has lived up to the expectation I had. Yeah, because today a lot happened. I did not even focus for the majority of the game. I didn't even watch South Korea and Portugal today. My main focus today was Ghana Uruguay. That was the game I was most looking forward to out of any other game. And you know what? It lived up to it. It lived up to it both in the first half and in the second half. Mainly because in the second half, because both teams were out. It went from the scenarios were crazy. Like we'll go through it one by one, but like it's crazy how at some stage Uruguay were in the driving seat to go through. They were comfortable. They brought Suarez off. They brought Nunez off, etc. And all of a sudden, South Korea in the other game score. They score a goal, you know, and all of a sudden now they have to chase a third one because South Korea are going to go through on goals scored, seeing as Uruguay and South Korea had the exact same goal difference, so and the exact same points. Oh my god, it's just like football's a mad game. Like, yeah, you just gotta love the sport. You just gotta love the sport. And Luis Suarez obviously crying. It's very ironic how he has a masterclass in today's game. For 65 minutes, he was absolutely brilliant. And it's funny how he hasn't had a game that good in like so many years, and it just had to come against Ghana of all countries as well. Like considering the history, so yeah, that was very interesting. But yeah, when you actually think about it, Ghana in the first half they had a penalty, and obviously it was a penalty. I don't know why it took so long for the referees to decide that. I guess they were debating whether Andre Ayew was offside in the lead up to that penalty incident, and he wasn't offside. Kudos gets to the ball before the goalkeeper. Kudos was clearly looking for it and went down. Let's be honest, he was always going to go down, and the ref gave a penalty. And this is my problem with inconsistency, because I'm going to get to the Cavani incident later on, because that was probably more of a penalty than this Kudos one, in my opinion. But it is what it is. So when obviously Ghana got the penalty, everyone's thinking to themselves, this is it. It's time to avenge 2010 after what Suarez did, after the Ghana player absolutely bottled it with the penalty, hitting the crossbar and etc. And you know, uh, at the time, whilst they were reviewing the incident, I was like, he's gonna miss it, isn't he? It's just in the history. It's just in the history. Like sometimes history does not change for certain teams. It just does not change for certain teams' history. And I think that showed today with that penalty miss. I knew he was missing. He was always gonna miss. The pressure got to him. Yeah, the stakes were too high. Yeah, the pressure that was on him. Andre Ayew was always going to miss, man. He was always missing, and no surprise, he missed. Absolutely terrible penalty. The keeper saves it, and then all of a sudden, from then on, I think Uruguay just came to life. They just came to life. All of a sudden, Bentancur and Valverde are absolutely dominating the midfield. Suarez is having a masterclass game. Pellistri is doing his thing, and yeah, the number 10 for Uruguay, he gets that first goal. Suarez, obviously, cross goes out to him from Nunez, I think it was. The Ghana players, both of them missed the ball. Absolutely shocking defending. Suarez cuts inside, takes a shot on. The keeper with a poor save, to be honest. It's slowly going in. And then the number 10, I'm not going to pronounce his name. I think it's Acastera or something like that. I may have just butchered it badly, but it is the number 10. You'll know who he is pretty much. But yeah, he gets the goal, man. And he's a player that apparently, Uruguay fans were asking, play him more, play him. He can make the difference. And he did make the difference today. He scored both goals. So fair play to him. Obviously, like I said, Suarez was having the game of his life for some reason. It could be the racismo, but let's not talk about that. Yeah. It could be that. I don't know. Because it's very ironic to me how Suarez has such a great game today. I just find that hilarious how today of all days was the day you wanted to turn up. When, South Korea are absolutely horrific. You haven't had, a game where like you could say, oh, it was the Suarez show in like about, I'd say about 5 years if I'm being completely honest. Let's keep things real. So yeah, you saw that in the second goal. Ball goes out to him. He just flicks it over the goalkeeper. He uses his awareness to spot out the number 10. And the number 10, just volleys it into the back of the net past the goalkeeper too fast for him. And thinking at that point, considering the fact that in the other game, Portugal did go 1-0 up pretty fast due to, I forgot his name. Oh, damn. I know Dallo gave the assist, but yeah, they did score. It was a cutback, and the guy managed to tap it in. Fair play to him. And then obviously, South Korea had equalized, obviously, with Son taking the corner. Ronaldo obviously with the assist as well, because he for some reason backed off the ball and it lands to a South Korean player and he puts in the back of the net. It's 1-1 at that point. Whilst Uruguay winning the game 2-0, and you think to yourself, considering what people were saying about the other game, which I'll be surprised if loads of people were watching it, but I heard that it wasn't a great game. Portugal were poor. Apparently, Ronaldo had an absolute stinker of a game. And if he's gonna have a stinker, it may as well come in a game that really doesn't matter. Let's keep things real. Portugal are always gonna top the group regardless. So yeah, that's that. The only way they were not gonna top the group is if Ghana had beaten Uruguay comfortably today. But obviously Ghana didn't do that, so it was actually good news for Portugal in that sense. But yeah, obviously it's 1-1 in that game. It's 2-0 in the Uruguay game. And you just think to yourself, Uruguay will just see it out. Obviously they lost Bentancur very, very early, which was unfortunate for them. He's a very good midfielder. He was trying to, him and Valverde have a really good relationship and partnership in the middle of the park. I know Vecino is a very good player, but he's no Bentancur. Let's keep things real. But yeah, it looked like Uruguay were just gonna see the game out. 65 minutes on. They take off Luis Suarez, they take off Palestri. Later on, they take off Nunes. All the firepower was pretty much gone, and they bring on the likes of Cavani. Yes, good striker. On his last legs, they bring on that De La Cruz brother as well. And it looks like Uruguay just gonna see the game out. Suarez wins once again against Ghana, and yeah, all of a sudden South Korea score. And this is where things just go into madness, because it's like, even though Uruguay were 2-0 up, Ghana were obviously chasing the game, and all Ghana needed was a draw. Especially if that game, South Korea Portugal, would have ended a draw. Because actually no, wrong. Even when South Korea were winning the game 2-1 against Portugal, there could have been a scenario where if Ghana had scored 2 goals, then they would have gone through. Do you know how crazy that is? They would have gone through based on head-to-head with South Korea. But then they didn't. They were losing the game 2-0, and it looked like they were never going to score. And then all of a sudden, Suarez gets the news. He's absolutely crying, tears down his face, fam. Oh my God, the amount of times the cameramen, pinned the camera to Suarez was actually so funny. Like, honestly, I know a lot of people will be enjoying that downfall, enjoying Suarez's tears and that, which is fair enough. I can't say, that I'd be lying to you if I said I felt sorry for Suarez. I simply don't, blood. I'll keep things real, fam. I'll keep it real. I don't really feel sorry for Suarez, man. I don't really feel sorry for Suarez. Especially his antics in the past. What he did to Branislav Ivanovic and that. He's a bit of a diver, a bit of a cheater as well. So it is what it is. But yeah, man, absolutely crazy tonight. How Ghana were 2 goals away from qualifying. South Korea were a couple minutes in the Uruguay game from qualifying. If Uruguay got 1 more goal, they would have qualified. It was absolutely crazy. And I think overall, if I was to say who deserves to go throughout the 3 of them, would I say South Korea? Do you know what? It's a tough one, but I overall do think they deserve to go through more than Uruguay, at least. The Ghana one is a bit more debatable. I can debate South Korea, Ghana in terms of who deserved it more. But in terms of Uruguay, I think both teams would have deserved to go through more than Uruguay. Like, Uruguay were absolutely terrible in their first 2 games. They were very underwhelming against South Korea. Nothing up front. They were playing terrible football. They were shocking against Portugal as well. And they only wanted to attack for the last 30 minutes after they went 1-0 down. And then you got the likes of Ghana, who Ghana were unlucky to lose to Portugal. Very, very unlucky to lose to Portugal. They obviously beat South Korea in a decent performance. And then obviously, in today's game, they were absolutely shocking. They bottled it. A lot of them bottled it today. All them Ghana players absolutely bottled it. And, even when South Korea went 2-1 up, all of a sudden Ghana were in two minds. They were thinking to themselves, do we go get 2 goals so we can go through and draw this game, even though that's unlikely? Or do we say to Uruguay and Suarez, you're coming down with us, motherfucker. You think you're going through? Nah, mate, you're coming down with us. And I think by the way they played, they were in two minds because all of a sudden, after that goal, it was end to end. End to end. The game was so good for like the last 10 minutes. It was just proper end to end stuff. You know, there were 2 penalties for me that Uruguay should have had. And I can totally understand why the Uruguay players, in the end, were absolutely fuming with the referee to the point where I actually felt like they were gonna punch him up or something. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe, I don't know, that referee gets somehow jumped by those Uruguay players after the game. Do you know what I mean? Please don't do that. I'm not advocating. I'm not saying that they should. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised. That's all. Okay, just a disclaimer there before people think I'm actually being serious. But yeah, obviously, I think the Cavani one's a stonewall penalty. Yes, he looks for it. Yes, he stops. But I could literally say the same about Kudos and the fact that he took a poor touch. And I think he knew in his mind, with the goalkeeper coming out, that he was going to go down as long as he got the ball first. And he did. And he went down looking for the penalty. It was a penalty. So I don't understand why the referee did not give the Cavani one a penalty either. The Nunes one, that's also a penalty. That is also a penalty. It's a stonewall pen. Amate is on the wrong side of him. He clearly catches his leg first and he's all over him. Like, I don't understand. Like, Uruguay technically have been robbed here. But at the same time, though, considering Ghana were throwing bodies forward and they were absolutely exposed at the back and Uruguay were going on a load of counterattacks, I have to say, maybe Uruguay should have made better decisions in the final third. Cavani, Valverde, De La Cruz, the substitutes that came on. So it's one of those ones where, look, Uruguay, unlucky, mate. It's your own fault, to be honest with you. There was absolutely no chance the football gods were going to let Uruguay scumbag their way out of the group stages. Let's just keep it real. This team was supposed to be an underdog for this tournament. They're one of my underdogs as well. Oh, yeah, these underdogs, not underdogs, sorry, dark horses. These dark horses are really in the mud, eh? Likes of Denmark and Uruguay. They were serious dark horses for a lot of people. And they're in the mud. All of a sudden, they're in the mud and they have really disappointed, I think, everybody. So, on that basis, I really do think Uruguay are the only team that didn't deserve to go through. Portugal, of course, deserved to finish top. They got the job done. They were very efficient. Bruno Fernandes has been one of the best players at the tournament so far. And they lost today, so it doesn't really matter. Ghana, look, when it comes to South Korea, look, I think overall, do they deserve to go through? I would say yes. I think they're a nice team. They're a good team. They defend very, very well. They do like goals up front. They've got technicians all over the field, just like Japan. And you know what? I think it's good for Asia as well, to see a couple teams go through. It's funny because I think in Africa, obviously we've got Senegal through, and we've got what's the other team, lad? Oh, god damn it! Is Senegal the only African team through? They could be, Ooh, what? Will Cameroon pull off a shock tonight and beat Brazil? It's funny actually because I was like, you know what? All this Uruguay, thingy hype, they're gonna win the game. But I was like, what if South Korea beat Portugal? What happens then? In a game that doesn't matter. Just like Tunisia beat France, but in the end Australia did beat Denmark, and that changed everything. I don't know. In tonight's game, we obviously got Serbia, Switzerland. And that's the game everyone's going to be focused on because whoever wins in that game probably goes through. But we got Brazil versus Cameroon. And I'm just saying, guys, if Cameroon somehow make it out of this group, lad, I swear down, that's going to be like the perfect top off to like these group stages games, honestly, because they've been absolutely fantastic. They started off a bit slow. I feel like overall the first round of games, they started off a bit slow, couple 0-0s and that. But since the second round of group stage games, it has been absolutely fantastic. So yeah, South Korea, I think overall do deserve to go through. They deserve the point against Uruguay. I think they played well. They defended really well. They probably did enough to get the job done against Portugal. And I think they were unlucky maybe not to get a draw in the game against against Ghana. So yeah, it is what it is. They do go through. It's good for Asian football to see Japan and South Korea go through. And obviously, Africa football. It's good for them that at least Senegal, the AFCON champions, have gone through. But very unlucky for them to see Ghana go out. So it is what it is. Yeah, that's your Group H review, or is it Group? It's Group H, isn't it? Or Group G? Oh, I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm just going to end the video here. I don't know which group it is at this point. I don't know why I'm doing the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all of that nonsense. But yeah, that has been your group review, I guess, whether it's G or H or whatever. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to go. This is really awkward. Peace.